Hello, good day. I'm going to talk a little bit on the life insurance, and this is just basically looking into a pure return play. The two insurance policy I'm looking at it is both is more than 20 years. So let's go. So in this first insurance, let me give the background on the life insurance here is about bought in 1992. And in 2021, I sort of get the product summary to see whether the projected in 1992 as of buying as versus now, is there any different? So these are the finding. So if I look into a 35 years, that means for 2027, what I can see immediately is the return. Okay. The surrender value of the return after near to 30 years is actually much reduced by about 2,000. That is about 5 to 8%. And secondly, in terms of the cash value, you can see that typically for insurance, it takes minimally more than 10 years. Because this policy that I bought, I consider it is quite good. It's the earlier one that I bought. It takes more than 10 years just to break even with the premium paid. So next, let's look into what happened from 2021 until now. So if you see in 2021, the projected was this number. However, the net value as I get from the portal now is lesser than the value given here for surrender value. So the summary is basically insurance policy, what was projected for my case, the cash value actually reduced over 20 years. And of course, if I'm looking into doubling of the cash surrender value versus premium pay, it took about 32 years for this, and the compounded interest is roughly about 2%. Next, let's look into another life insurance policy bought in 1998. And for this policy, it belongs to a foreign life insurer, and it have now ceased to exist in Singapore, and its company is taken over by a local foreign insurance company as well. So the first point, the so-called cash value as projected 25 years ago was 279,000, but the this benefit value is only 147. So you can see there's a huge difference from what was projected versus what we are having now. And you can see on this area. So this is a huge differences. Secondly, in terms of the premium paid, you can see the premium paid and the surrender value. The surrender value after 25 years is actually quite small, as compared what is the premium paid. So if you have insurance policy that belong to foreign insurer and they have ceased to exist in Singapore, and their company are taken over by another company, typically the return is not fantastic at all. And that's the reason why I use this policy to illustrate. So if I look into the 2021 product summary that talk about the value that is for surrender versus the value I'm seeing in the portal now is a bit more higher. So I believe that because of the last 2 years, in terms of what the insurer is actually putting on, they have a much better return. And I do a projection. Basically, the projection is it will take about 37 years just to double the amount inside the premium, so that in surrender value is double that amount. So it will take about 37 years to do that. So if 37 years, then looking at another premium of about $12,000, but the return is probably about 164. However, this number, will it come true or not in the next 10 years? It may not, because based on the previous projection, you can see that there is a 50% discount. So if we look into that, the summary that I'm going to provide on here is insurance long-term, more or less minimum about 15 years. If you are buying any insurance policy, about 15 years, your premium paid and your surrender value should be more or less equal. And that's just basing on value alone. I have not looked into the criteria of what they are covering. The first insurance that was bought in 1992 is obviously much better than the second insurance in terms of the return of value, in terms of dollar cent by year. CPF, ordinary account and special account is roughly about 2.5 to 4%. However, there is no coverage. And lastly, I mean, if you look into my YouTube channel, I talk about investment and trading. Both can make losses and they can make more than what insurance and CPS are returning back to us. I hope you like this video that talk about a certain area of the asset class, like, long term that I'm holding on. And please do subscribe and like the video as well. I'll be sharing more of my thoughts and analytics for you to do your own DD as well.